So we're going into the inner flame, and we're going into the I am almighty presence. Okay, we cross that rainbow bridge, the stairway to heaven. And this is about us coming into the inner flame, your inner temple. And what was coming through with this, because there's so much in Taurus right now, all around the Aldebaran, Hades, and we're the Pleiades. Okay, so we got a lot of, which Hades, Pleiades, they're all essentially located right there in Taurus. This is also, Taurus is ruled by Venus. We have Venus there, home there. Jupiter's expanding this abundance, these blessings. Okay. And so this is a time of great blessing, divine inheritance being bestowed into our lives energetically. We spoke on this before. Now, from the other lens that I was guided to kind of talk about today, Krita was coming through for me, because that is my north node. It's where Jupiter just exited Krita, which is one of the nakshatras. It's the third nakshatra in the 27 moon mansions, although there's 28. The 28th one's just not really spoken about. It's the silent one. I posted it. I posted the nakshatras on the Telegram, on the main Telegram, so you guys can screenshot those, save those however you want, so you have them. And it has the Vedic time frame degrees, and then it has Western astrology degrees there, so you can see the differentiation there. There's also a visual I meant to upload, but I didn't. And what it is a beautiful. I screenshot it. It's in my phone. I'm going to just put it into the Telegram right now. Or did I not screenshot? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, just skimmed over it too fast. Okay, so in that Telegram, you guys can pull it up on your phone real quick if you want. It's in the main Telegram under today's post about the astrology, the Gene Keys and the AstroKeys. But in here, what it's showing you, I'll just pull it back so you can kind of see here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is, oh, this has got blur on it for some reason. Son of a gun. I don't know why my video is blurring. It's not even on blur my video. Okay. All right. Anyways, so in the center is essentially the 12 zodiac, and then you have the 27 nakshatras around it, which obviously is showing you the expansion. So in understanding the principles of astrology, you have the personality astrology, which is the development of the personality or your personal reality, your mindsets, your beliefs, your emotional maturity, which I'm constantly in growth over here with that. I'm not going to say that I'm the most mature person there is. I'm not. But once you get through that wheel of samsara and you've come into spiritual maturity, mental, emotional maturity, your personality has maturated, okay, and you've become the expression of the pearl, the jewel, the gem within. You're looking at the 27 nakshatras that are around, or 28, right? I've already told you there's a hidden one in there. Anyways, these are the higher self or the soul expression, okay? The soul's expression and not the ego persona expression. So I just thought that was a really cool visual to give you guys to see. And so, yeah, so you can, I like it. I like that. I like seeing, because the moon moves, there's some people that'll say it's 29 and a half days, for the moon cycle. I don't align with that, but it's 28 days is how I see that. And it's just kind of like anyways, there's 28 days, and the moon moves through one nakshatra a day for its moon cycle. Okay, so very cool. I just want to let you guys know that if you didn't know. I'm sure probably most of you already knew this. The one that we're dealing with the sun and Venus and Jupiter specifically is Rohini. And this is from 10 degrees of Taurus all the way to 23 degrees of Taurus. And considering that the sun is at 18 degrees, we also have Venus is at 17 degrees, Jupiter is at 11 degrees. So again, it just got out of Krita and now it's in Rohini, Jupiter. And then we have Uranus, which is still in Krita, and we have Mercury. Mercury, there you go. Mercury is in Krita as well. So I do want to talk about Krita. Krita is the flame. Okay, so it is the fire. I guess Krita is what I want to talk. She wants to come through really, really strongly right now. I want to talk about Rohini, but Krita keeps coming in. Like, talk about me. Okay, I'll talk about you. It's the third chakra. I mean, third chakra. It's the third nakshatra. Nakshatra, moon mansion. And now these are the wives of the moon. Okay, so the moon is maternal. The moon is mother. The moon is water. It is also dealing with the feminine archetype, magnetism. All right, so Krita is the seed of solar energy. So we have Mercury here with this nakshatra, and then we also have Uranus here. Okay, and Uranus and Mercury are both antennas. They're both transmitters. They're emanating out. So Uranus is dealing with the higher subtle bodies. Okay, and then your Mercury is the transmitter of those higher subtle frequencies into the physical form. Okay, so I think it's beautiful that this Krita wants to come about. So the seed of solar energy is represented in the celestial firmament by a well-known group of 7 bright stars huddled together in the star cluster of the Pleiades. The ancient Vedic seers saw these 7 stars as forming a necklace and attached immense importance to their role in galactic affairs. These stars are known in modern astronomy. I'm not going to talk about, there's Atlas, Alcyone, Merope, Electra, Peloni, and Taygeta, and the Maya. Alcyone is the brightest among this group with the visual magnitude. It doesn't matter about that. The stars are very easily visible in the night sky because their proximity to each other. Okay. All right. Krita translates simply into the one who cuts. I think this is very important, okay? Because it's the one who cuts. If we're dealing with your Uranus and Mercury here, then this is cutting the cords to cutting the energies out, or it's known as the cutters. It's a direct and straightforward name, is very much in keeping with the essential quality of these. The cutters relates to a feminine aspect rather than a male aspect, as we shall discover later. This asterism, okay, is related to the 7 Kritas, or the 7 wives of the 7 main sages looking after the affairs of our galaxies. Now, you know the 7 main sages are. Can I get it in the comments before I say it out loud? Do you guys want me to give you a drum roll? Who can tell me what the 7 sages are? What constellation is that found in? The Elohim. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so it's in Ursa Major. Mama Bear. The Elohim. Hello, I want my light on. Where'd it go? Oh, all right, anyways. So Mama Bear, the sages. Okay, this is the Elohim, the seven husbands, the 7 lampstands, and their wives are the Pleiades. So the father arc, ray 1, divine will and power. The red, right? The red ray, that is Ursa Major, Mama Bear. Okay, and then that holds ray 1. That's the father arc. And then you have the mother arc, which is the Pleiades. This makes your holy trinity in the cosmos. And then your the second ray is the Pleiades, which is the blue ray, love and wisdom. And then you have active intelligence, which is the 3rd ray, or the child, which is Sirius, and that is Canis Major. Okay, which is the dog star, where we also see the energies of like the whale, the dolphin, innocence, the playful-esque side. So that makes up your holy trinity in the cosmos. And now you're seeing, like in this expression with Krita, you just learned that the Pleiades are the wives of the sages, or the lampstands of Ursa Major. Okay, that's all I was getting at. Little bit there on the extra side. Okay, the main symbol is an axe, a razor, or any sharp edge instrument like a blade or a knife. This symbol obviously relates to its name, which implies cutting and penetration. All sharp instruments can be used for both constructive or deconstructive purposes. A knife, for example, can be used cutting vegetables or hurting someone. In the same way, Krita's penetration can be used for cutting through superficial layers of mental and emotional functionings. On the other hand, it can be used for causing harm out of anger or enmity. In some cases, its destructive aspect is constructive from the universal point of view, especially when those at the end of the blade are crooked or evil. A flame of any type is another widely used symbol for Krita, a flame. This, as we shall see, is the next section, relates to its association with Agni, the lord of the fire element. My grandmother's name was Agnes, and they always call her Aggie. So, and she was fiery. She was Spitfire. At least from what I heard, she passed when I was 3 years old. So, but my mom would always say, my grandfather would always tell me about her. Okay. The peacock is another alternative symbol. So who's been getting flame? Who's been getting peacock? And who's been dealing? I can tell you last week I took the razor head and I just threw it. I threw the razor head. I was pissed, right? Told you, I'm not emotionally mature. I'm not going to sit here. I'm working through my shit. I'm working through years and years and years of pent up anger. So it's like, I'm not going out of my way to lash out on people or anything like that. But when I have my moments and I have something in my hand, and I'm like, it's going to happen. Not doing it to anybody, but just within my own space, my own sacred space. And then just the other day, I told one of my clients, I told her to go get some spades, like gardening spades, and then just go lay in the ground and just I just let it out, the ferocity. And so these are sharp blades, right? I just think it's interesting because I didn't know this. Did not know this, but I can see why it was coming through. And peacocks have been coming up a lot, which always makes me think of Freya and, Zeus's wife as well, just always having her eyes on you. So the peacock is another alternative symbol for this nakshatra. The elaborately ornate feathers of the male peacock relate to the exuberant material nature of the masculine part of this nakshatra. A peacock is the chosen vehicle of the male ruling deity of this nakshatra. Krishna always wore a peacock feather on top of his head, and his early life under the care of his foster parents reveals the essence of this nakshatra. So the commander of the celestial godly forces is the primary ruling deity of this asterism. So Kartikeya, I do apologize for slaughtering. This is probably why I never ever talk about the nakshatras, because I'm just not good with expressing the Sanskrit here. He is one of the most prominent among Shiva's sons and was raised by the aforementioned Kritas, he was raised by the 7 wives of the 7 sages, celestial sages. All right, he have common roots, and is automatically implied that Kritas are the foster mothers of a boy called Karitkiya. Thus, the nakshatra is related to foster care and nurturing of all types. So when we go through these again, just remembering that these are lore and these are explaining the characteristics and the types of energy. So what you can see from this one obviously is going to be more nurturing energy that's coming in, but it's coming in. It might be sharp, it might be abrasive, obtuse, but it's to cut through the bullshit. It's to cut out the lies. And we say tough love, or I got that mother's nurturing, the tough love mother. Like, you know what, you may not want to hear this, but you need to fucking hear this, right? And you may not like, what I'm punishing you, or that you think I'm punishing you, but I'm just taking this from you right now because you're acting as shit and this is not really who you are. You know what I'm saying? So there's that energy that's coming through to kind of be cutthroat. So, and since it's Uranus and Mercury here, there could and I'm talking a lot about my lack of emotional maturity for some reason to everybody today. I don't know why. So what I mean is I don't know why I don't have a reason to justify or explain any of this shit to you guys, but I am. So maybe it's coming up to let you know that there could just be some cutthroat shit that's coming in, and don't react. Okay? Like, try not to emotionally react too much. All right. Understand that it's coming in for the clarity, the awareness, the shocking, like, oh, I did not see that coming. That's the kind of stuff that's going to come in here. And it's to ignite the fire within you, the agni, the light, the flame within you. Okay. And so sometimes it takes pulling off these blinders, okay, that we have, these illusions that we have veiled over ourselves, which are belief systems, limitations, just even ways that we see people that are in our life, whether, it's a partner, or, it's a friend or a family member, or even one of your children. It's removing that blinder so that you can be fully present with what your dharma, your purpose, your destiny is. So that's where astral subtle bodies. Yeah. So let me get in here. Okay. So again, these can just be more things that are coming up to clear out of your subtle bodies. On the astral and more subtle planes, fire relates to the purifying principle in nature. It burns away the karma from previous lives so that a sense of unity with the original creative source may be achieved. And with that, with that statement alone, that plays so well in with where the sun is at in Gene Key 2. All right. So I'm not sharing the screen. I need to be sharing the screen with you guys. All right. Now, there you go. So I think you guys can see the screen now. Okay. So what I'm talking about is Krita. We're talking about obviously subtle body frequencies. We're talking about like Mercury being that divine messenger of truth. Okay, that can be shocking. It could be just like, oh my gosh. It could also be uplifting. It can be a lot. It could be nurturing, and you know what I mean. It could also ignite the flame within you. It doesn't have to be that somebody is going to do something to you or say something to you. It could just be your own self delusion or a limitation or a belief system that you had been indoctrinated in for a very long time, coming to finally, it's like you have a conscious knowing of it. You have a conscious knowing of things, but there's a difference between it being fully integrated into the cellular resonance of your body. And then that's what I mean. Like there's a solidification, a final cutting of that cord. And when that happens, your response is going to tell you how much more you need to heal, or what it is necessarily that is triggering within you, a sense of abandonment, shame, guilt, rejection, denial, separation, shame, repression, where you're repressing this stuff within you. And it's just going to let you know, like, oh, I was repressing that little piece. Okay, I get it. Oh, I'm so glad that it's gone. Like, I finally get it. Like, and you come home. So this is all to bring us home, all to brawn, all to bring, right? Maybe not, but it's all to bring us home, into returning to the home, returning to the eternal flame within, that fire, that passion, that freshness, that beauty, that creative expression within us. All right. So I'm going to jump on over. I would love for you guys to look at Krita. I can type it into, if you guys don't know how to spell it, I'll spell it out, because I know I've been doing such a fantastic job of slaughtering the Sanskrit words. Okay, there you go. And you guys can look that up. Nurturing and functioning. Okay, I'm guided here to read this piece, and it says, it is clear that the English word for critical has its roots in the Sanskrit word kritika, and is one word, and this one word sets the tone for Kritika's basic nature and functioning. Kritika's piercing quality lends itself to the criticizing and fault-finding part of human nature. Kritika aims to get to the root of any action or situation, and consequently it comes across all the imperfections, which often lie between the apparent and the real. Kritika doesn't tolerate imperfections because it sees them as obstacles in achieving its decidedly fixed goals. So planets placed here give one pointed action and fiery bursts of energy. And we've got Uranus here. Okay. So this is that bursty flame. And it's been there. It's not like it's, Uranus moves slower. So it's not like it's moving quickly out of here. So, but with the intensity and the conjunction, which means that these planets create a unified field, right? Like when you make love to somebody, your auric fields become one, two become one. That's what happens. Okay. And these are both messenger planets. Okay. Or one's an inner plane dealing with your inner body. And then Uranus is the outer body, subtle bodies. Okay. So that one wants to come through. And they usually have cutting and blunt manners, which often offends or intimidates those around them. It's like when we started this conversation, I was trying to I gave a compliment. But first off, I needed to say, this isn't a backhanded compliment, but I said it's not a shit sandwich, because that's another way of saying it. I need to be very clear that this is a loving, but do you see how I made sure that I was not, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't being sharp or cutting, but I was making sure that it wasn't taken that way. So even your words that you're saying in these energies could be taken incorrectly just because of the fiery nature of where these planets are. And I'm not even talking about their freaking gene keys at this moment. I'm just talking about the nakshatras. Okay. So I think it's really interesting how that plays. Okay. One must, however, remember that Krika natives are good at putting up social graces and do not act in a cutting or sharp manner all the time. They do so only when roused. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. So they do so only when roused. They have an extreme temper, but it does not last for more than a few seconds. This is very true. This is very, very true. So Kritka exemplifies the sun's anger rather than Mars's anger. Sun's anger doesn't last for very long, while Mars's anger lingers on with an avenging attitude. The king, sun, does not need to stay angry for long to declare war, while soldiers like Mars, who actually fight the battle, need sustained anger to keep themselves interested and engaged in the battle. Very interesting. So we might want to watch out whenever Mars gets here in a few months. Watch it. People will be on the wrong side of us. Might get a spade or two. I'm kidding. All right. So not funny, but not funny. Okay, so in the universal schemes of things, Krita relates to the Dahana Shakti, the power of the astral body, to cut its ties with the physical body. Oh, I love it. And I'm talking about emotional maturity. I love what's coming through already. Yes. So it's purifying I've been begging for this. I'm like, God, please meet me more than halfway. I don't know if I can jump off this plank. You're going to have to push me and then be at the bottom, make sure there's no sharks, a little floaty. It's like, I need help here. I'm being a human when I express this. Okay. Everybody has their challenges. And I love this because what I feel is the burning away, like it just said, of the connection, the ties to the astral. The astral is not personal. So that's another thing to understand with the collective. The astral is not personal. It is collective. Just like the mental plane isn't personal. Your thoughts are not your own. Your feelings aren't yours, right? But they are yours. You're feeling them, but it's because you have a belief system that's collectively ingrained or built in, and you're connected to the collective unconscious or the collective astral plane. Okay, what is yours? So it's cutting that collective connection to the emotional tyranny that continues to dwindle us in our growth, right? Because we get pulled down by the weight of the collective mayhem. And it's not easy right now when you've got, an entire population of humans going through a genocide, and we can feel that exists in us. So it creates, and I don't care how many people are like, it doesn't matter what's going on in the collective, you can disassociate from it. No, you can't. You can, but then you're disassociated. you're completely disassociated. So it's about not disassociating with it. It's making clear cuts with it. There's an acknowledgement. There's an extinguishing. There's I guess a bow. Like how I see this is like a bowing. The fire in me is the fire in you, or the emotions in me bow to the emotions in you. I'm not taking them on as my own. I'm liberating myself from your emotional tyranny, from your emotional, like it's being it's for me. Another example that I'm getting visual here is, for an example, is you're in a relationship with somebody or a friendship with somebody, and they're just Debbie down. Like, you know, like we're just trying to be at the beach and have a good time. And all you want to do is complain and complain and complain and nag and all these things, instead of just being fully fucking present with the people that you're at with. Right. And so again, it's like I feel like there's that letting go, that releasing from that field of the distortions of everybody else's shit, and just going, okay, this isn't mine. This isn't totally fully mine anymore. Okay, I've pulled my weight, I've pulled my piece of this, and this is what I have found through it, right? So I feel like there's a lot of emotional maturity that's coming from this. I feel like there's some emotional growth that's coming from this. When we're also in a purified field, and I'm not saying that you're disassociated, I'm saying it's a purified field. There's a difference between disassociation from the collective soup and having a purified field, meaning a boundary. There's a solid boundary there where when things happen, you're like, oh, is this mine? You're fully able to connect in with your body and go, is this mine? Or am I pulling it from person A or from person B? Right. So when we're more illuminated with light, then we're bringing in more energy. We're more magnetic as well. And so our aura is wider and our reach is wider. And so I, at times, a lot of the times, 99% of the time, will fill my clients the day before, or the day that both the day before and the day of what it is that they need. I'll start feeling it. I'll start experiencing my body, and we're nowhere near each other, because that's the quantum entanglement. It's the intention has been set. So now the energies are connected, or the timelines, or the frequencies are connected. And so there's a point where I know, I'm like, is this me, or is this, oh, they must be running late. Let me send them a message. Hey, it's cool if you're running 10 minutes late. I got this. No big deal. Just relax and everything will show up on time whenever it's supposed to. And they get back, oh my God, how did you know? It's like, well, because it wasn't mine. Because I knew I wasn't in a rush. I'm never in a rush. If I'm late, I'm fucking late. If I miss something, I'll reschedule it. If it doesn't work out, I'll refund you. I don't care. I no sweat off. I can no sweat off my stack there. So I know what's mine, what's not mine. Okay. But that's what I feel like this massive shift is. Talking through this right now, I feel like that is what's coming through. Is I know what's mine. I know it's the collective, or I know what's somebody else's. Okay. So there's this distinct energetic signature knowing. Okay. So on a spiritual level, this nakshatra can provide intense awareness and allows one the ability to undergo extreme forms of purification. On a spiritual level, Kritika is forever devoted to cutting its way along a clear path towards the development of one's true inner nature, and therefore will slay any obstruction, inner or outer, which blocks its path. When it is strong in a nativity, it indicates sudden transformation, ups and downs in life. So again, Uranus is still going to be there, and Mercury is conjuncting, is going to get even closer to this. Mercury is in this, and it goes all the way to the 10th degree. So we just saw, we had Jupiter go through there, and we saw a lot of endings and letting goes that happened with whenever Jupiter and Venus, when we had the Cazimi, and we had those planets in Krita. Okay, Krita, not ta, ka. All right, so I don't want to talk about any more of that. No. Okay, so the next one that wanted to come through was Roni. There she, nope, that's the, I already went too far. Okay. All right. So this is where the sun is. And I'm not going to talk too much more about this one. This one's Rohini, and it's from 10 degrees of Taurus to 23 degrees of Taurus. And so in the sky, Rohini, the seed of lunar energy. So Kritka is solar, and then Rohini is lunar energy. And this is represented in the celestial firmament by a very bright pale rose star in the constellation of Taurus. This Alpha Tauri or Aldebaran. This Rohini is found within the star Aldebaran. Aldebaran is one of the brightest stars in the night sky. And I'm not going to. Ancient Vedic seers revered the star because this was supposed to be the abode of Brahma, okay, and the Prajapatis. So Brahma is God. So this is the home of God, the Buddha, right? Krishna, Buddha. These are the Hindu Brahmas. Brahma. Great God, head center. All right. It translates to the reddish one or the growing one. The one here carries a feminine tone and can be read as celestial woman. The color red invokes notions of warmth, passion, and liveliness. The fact that this ancient culture, it was seen as the color of abundance and prosperity, reveals some of the essential characteristics of Rohini. Its alternative name is Vidhi, and I'm not going to say these ones, which all relates to Brahma, the creator among the Trinity. Reveal more sides to this fascinating nakshatra. So the symbol here is the ox cart pulled by two oxen. Oxen have been used as fertility symbols by many ancient cultures. Okay, so bounties of the earth and the cow. So it's very feminine energy. What else do I want to bring here? Brahma, so the deity here is Brahma, the creator among the governing trinity of the universe, is the main presiding deity of Rohini. There are only 3 nakshatras which have one of the trinity as its main presiding deity. This says a lot regarding the importance of this nakshatra, especially in regards to the affairs of the earthly realm. There are a lot of legends connecting to Brahma to this nakshatra. The main legend relates to an earlier point of time in history of the universe when Brahma, after creating a daughter named Rohini, fell in love with her. When Brahma, after creating a daughter, fell in love with her. From the Vedic point of view, every constellation is seen as a feminine goddess entity. Rohini's extraordinary charm and magnetism, oh, see, I was already talking about that, magnetism, is made clear by the fact that Moon, whose duty is to spend only a certain amount of time with each of the feminine figures, is his monthly travel through the zodiac at one point refused to leave Rohini's abode. So it is said, not hard to see why Brahma fell in love with her and pursued her, despite the stigma attached with engaging in cosmic incest. It's pretty gross. However, he was stopped short in his chase by Shiv and had to be satisfied with just having the rulership of this nakshatra. All right. So it's clear that Rohini is the most alluring among all nakshatras, just as money in the present day world spins people around. Rohini makes people and even gods chase after it in every which way possible. Rohini relates to wish-fulfilling, creative aspect of nature, embodied by goddesses of prosperity like Lakshmi, and the spouse of Vishnu. Due to its association with Brahma, it has the ability to create anything which constitutes prosperity and abundance on any plane of existence. All Brahma does is create. And the same is the case with Rohini. It is thus not hard to see that its services are much in demand, okay, in the planes of existence. Rohini is that important productive aspect of Maya, which keeps the game of life worth playing for those involved. Oh, I love this. So she's about art, agriculture and civilization, as we understand it. Is the very This is a very productive nakshatra, which supports all types of growth. Now, again, this is the sun, this is Venus, and this is Jupiter, all in this. They're gonna be in it because this one goes from 10 degrees all the way to 23 degrees, and the sun is only at 18 degrees right now. So it's got a few more, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it's got 5 more days at least in this nakshatra. And Venus and Jupiter's going to be rolling through this. So again, this is the most prosperous time of the year. You want to set your intentions. You want to create. I loved what Courtney was doing. She was just making lots of art, not to sell it, not for nothing, not to frame it and putting it in her house or anything. She was just creating. That is the point of this nakshatra. Create for yourself, right? This is the time to set those intentions so that you have all of the this I don't know, like, this is a time to set yourself up for success, to cut yourself out of all the emotional tyranny. Use Kritka, the fire, the flame, you're a mighty I am, the eternal flame within you, to cut through the bullshit of the astral, of the collective soup and drama and ancestral gook that keeps you weighed down by the astral, the collective astral. Allow for Uranus and Mercury to give you the poo-poo platter of get the fuck out of here, cut it, shut it down. You don't want to hear it. I don't care. Let it go. Let it flow. Energy, okay? Let the emotions detach so that you can step into your true prosperity. Okay, the sun, we'll talk into the Jinki right now. Sun is in Jinki 2. The earth sign opposition is Jinki 1. This is freshness. This is the prime yin and the prime yang, the masculine and the feminine. And the feminine, if you listen, the Jinki 2, everything comes from the void. It is the way that we are living right now is topsy-turvy, where it's masculine-oriented reality. But that's because we have to integrate the masculine, because it has, if you will, overthrown the power, the natural order, okay, because of its tyrannical, egocentric, prideful expression, okay? It wants to be the sun wants to be the almighty, the Ra. I'll bow to Ra. I'll bow to the sun, to Christ Jesus in the sky. All right? No. I'm done with that fuck shit. I'm so done with that fuck shit. Okay? And if that bugs you, get out of here, because I'm done with the fuck shit, with this all supreme God of the sun bullshit. Okay? It is a balancing act of masculine and feminine, and the mother gives life to all. The void gives life to all. Let's demonize the moon and exonerate the sun. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. It's not all about the sun. We need darkness just as much as we need light. And to be honest, in the Bible, darkness came first, and then the fucking light came. And then the fucking light came. So again, it is the moon, it is the magnetism, it is which is fantasy, which is the desire nature, which holds all potential and creative expression. And it is the sun's job, it is the masculine energy within us all to take from that void, that space of pure potential and desire, fantasy, and to create into this reality through harmony and balance. And what is happening is there is that shift in the psyche of the collective, of those that, you know, people have already doing this. I'm not to say that this is just now happening. There's groups, we come in waves, we in waves, all right? So, but there's a wave of people right now that are fully stepping in to that leadership, creative leadership role, from that balanced feminine and masculine within them. I don't know what's going on with my lighting, guys. I'm not touching it. It's just dark. So it's pretty interesting watching this. But yeah, it's talking about the balance of the dark and the light, right? I love this. So the 2 is about unity. And this is the water eye. This is part of the codon ring of water. And the Jinki 1 is part of the codon ring of fire. Okay, again, prime yin, prime yang, and this is bringing balance back into the collective. So where we are seeing that we start with Jinki 1, and it's a yang and a yang inner yin, yang, yeah, yang, a yang with the dang. There you go. Sorry. I little things like that to remind myself which is which. Anyway, so the yang energy, or yang, yang, however you want to say that. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced yang energy. This is that masculine force, and there is a bowing to the feminine again. So you can see ego to soul. Okay, so again, there's a bowing here to, okay, I'm no longer in the entropy of numbness. Like, you can only go so far with your ego. You know what I mean? You're in, especially on that spiritual journey. If you're on the spiritual path, if you're not on your spiritual path, your ego can rule you your entire life, and that is a-okay, because it's not your journey this lifetime to have spiritual depth, okay, or to have spiritual mastery. But those that are on the path of spiritual mastery, spiritual depth, then this is that point where it's like you can exhaust your ego, you're going to exhaust out, your ego is going to get exhausted out. Okay. And that's whenever the yin aspect steps in and goes, you ready to flow? You tired of fighting fire with fire? You ready for some water? Are you thirsty? You're overheated? Yeah, you need some hydration? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Florida. The weather is absolutely crazy right now. I don't even feel moisture in the air. My hair is not even as curly as it could be. What? Yes, please rain down on me. Please give me that magnetism. Please, like, just shower me in creative expression, in that primordial, like, pure potential that resides within me. Yes, I want it to flow. Yes, I want to let go. I want to step into freshness. I want to step into the beauty that life is all around me, right? Because I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Still have a lot of fire in me. Yeah, because beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Okay, so this freshness, this beauty, it's in the eye, right? And where are we at? We're in Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. Okay, so beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Now we kind of get where that saying comes from, right? And Aldebaran is the creator energy. Brahma is the creator, and Rohini is the feminine. She's the feminine expression, right? Lover, child. She's the child of Brahma. And so she's the feminine expression of Brahma. Brahma is the all-seeing, the all-knowing. It's the Godhead. It's the Godhead. Sorry when I repeat myself like that. It does. I do. Okay. Rohini relates to the production of all types of amenities required for civilized living. When working through its higher plane, Rohini is only interested in use of products derived directly from nature. Ooh, and see? And Courtney gave me that idea with the fizzy ginger and raw honey to make that fizzy bubbly water, because I've been wanting some sensations of flavor. But I specifically said that doesn't have all the ingredients that I don't want to say out loud, because I don't want my body to know. Right? That's the process. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So that was already coming up. I love the fruitfulness of when I read these things and I don't know these things, and how I can see them play in conversation. You know, it'd be prior to, it's so it's fruitful. It's so fruitful. That's another thing that's been coming through, is fruitful. So there's this fruitful abundance. There's giving yourself the permission, cutting yourself from the illusions, delusions, and limitations. And that's going to come through. You have to be willing to withstand the pain that comes from knowing what you don't really want to know, but you already really know. Okay, so we will deny, it's coming through. We will deny the truth. We will deny the truth because it hurts. Because it hurts to feel it. Because it hurts to acknowledge it. But we know the dang truth in us. Our intuition isn't lying to us. We know that subtle feeling, that subtle knowing, but we want to not hear it because that would take us out of our comfort zone. Okay? But we have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a short term, for a short amount of time, so that we can have long-term comfort, stability, prosperity. Short-term discomfort for long-term prosperity. It's worth it, right? It's worth it. I mean, how many times in your life, right? You know, being pregnant is a prime example. It's short-term discomfort for long-term love. Okay. We give birth, our vagina split open. Some of us get like stitches, episiotomies, because we go to the hospital and they do fuck shit to our bodies. But anyways, that short-term pain, even if you get a long-term hemorrhoid, it's still worth all the love and hugs and cuddles and snuggly that you get from your children. Even when the pain's in the asses, you're just like, no, I just love you too much anyways. Okay? Get it? I know you get it. All right. The evolved, okay, in its low aspect, it indulges in all types of chemical, synthetic, and man-made products. The evolved Rohini types are usually true environmentalists and conservationists. Conservationists, I don't know why I said that, while the lesser evolved ones promote unwholesome products like those of the present day cosmetic industry. Rohini natives usually have large, clear, and expressive eyes, refined feminine features, thick lower lip. Who likes to play with their, anyway. And they have a stable, earthly, and well-balanced way about them. They are as unresponsive to external stimuli as a cow. Ooh, that's a good one to be. They only open up in extremely intimate situations. Their unflinching quality often comes out of stubbornness. Despite their calm exteriors, they can be very expressive with their voice and gestures. They can act well whenever it is necessary. They are smooth talkers and have gentle, seductive mannerisms. All right. What else did I want to say? Okay, these are about the natives. The functioning, mode of functioning. Rohini is considered to be a balanced nakshatra. Those who are involved in any productive activity will understand the importance of balance in achieving desired results. Just as nature is creative and productive through the balance of heat and cold, light and dark, rain and shine, winter and summer, etc. Rohini is methodological. You know what I'm trying to say? And balanced in its actions. In its negative aspect, however, Rohini, like other balanced nakshatras, makes one go through life with the least amount of adventure as possible. It can be ultra conservative and reluctant to try new things, which add to its wisdom and experience. On the positive side, it knows how to stay within the assigned life path without unnecessary strain. All right. Anything else I want to talk about this one? No, I'm not going to get into the padas. No. This is a great book to have if you want to know about the nakshatras. It has so much information on it. This one's the 27 celestial portals. I don't know why I don't have a filter on. It's blurring my black background, even though I didn't want it to be blurred. So unblur that. And then videos, I got to change it because it's like driving me. Just for a little lighting. Let's just do that. Portrait lighting. Okay. Okay. I'll just take down I don't know. Can you see it now? Yeah, maybe a little bit. The 27 celestial portals. The real secret behind the 12 star signs revealed. The 27 celestial portals. This is a great one to have. So, okay, so we talked about Rohini, and it says esoteric. Okay, so since Rohini is the fourth nakshatra, all qualities normally associated with the number 4 in numerology form the basis of this nakshatra's universal role. 4 is the number of structure and concreteness. The material universe takes form under the energies of this. So the material universe takes form under the energies of this nakshatra. The fire of Krita is transformed into the earth element. In the language of physics, we can say that pure energy condenses to form physical atoms, molecules, etc. Rohini is representative of Brahma's power to turn energy into mass, tangible matter. So, so this This key, you know, this nakshatra has the ability to take from the primordial void again, okay, from nothing and bring it into form. Okay, so this is such a powerful key, nakshatra, to sit with, to meditate with, maybe, you know, write out krita, or not krita, rohini, and put that on your altar. Maybe, you know, give some offerings to this celestial. It's Aldebaran. It's Aldebaran. You can call it Rohini, you can call it Aldebaran, whatever you want, but you can give offerings to this, maybe dance with this as well. But just definitely bringing energy in here and cultivating the absolute beauty that can come through this key in association with 1 and 2. So I want to dive into Gene Key 2. We're going to go, and this is what page is this one? It's page 8 or 9. So Gene Key 2 is the shadow of dislocation, the gift, the city of unity, and it's through the path of orientation. So it's a gift of orientation. And this is called returning to the one, returning to the I am. The I am is the one, or the Brahma. H-A-M-A, Brahma. All right. And so the second shadow, it's the shadow of dislocation. It says, as you see it, so it changes. All right. All right, let's read here. The second gene key grounds this story into the world of form. Okay. As the first gene key tells the story of the great masculine principle of energy and light, the second gene key grounds this story into the world of form. Can you see how that's playing out with Rohini? Because it's part of that nakshatra. Do you see how I love whenever we can correlate things like this. You know what I'm saying? I love it because it's different systems. The I Ching is where he's derived his expressions or expansions or his, you know, transmission, download, whatever you want to call the gene keys. I call it a transmission. But that was derived from the I Ching, you know, so I love how the I Ching has correlations with the Hindu, Sanskrit, nakshatras, or the astrology as well. It's so beautiful. And that's if that doesn't tell you how aligned the gene keys are, it should definitely tell you right there, right? Okay, so the second gene key grounds the thing into form, because that's what we do. That's what women do. The feminine like we as females, males are, you know, the expression of the solar, females are expression of the lunar, and that's what we do. We are here to bring spirit into form. All right, we give birth. That's what we do. So of course we're going to pull from the void that's deep within us, and then we're going to birth that into this reality, and then using our masculine energy, we create that for others. But so it's supposed to be Gene Key 2, then Gene Key 1. It's supposed to be feminine, then masculine, but we live in the topsy-turvy, backwards world right now. All right, but we're changing that. All right, so let me see. The second gene key grounds the story into the road. Even at the shadow level of consciousness, this gene key teaches us that there is a purpose to everything in existence. At no point in evolution has anything ever occurred that was not part of a huge interconnected plan. This is the truth that resides within the feminine principle. It is the binding force for all that the seemingly desperate cells and events within existence, and in a sense, it represents the great motherly embrace that pulls us all into a single unity. The magnetism. Because what I just got a visual of was like the North Pole, Mount Meru, Black Rock, getting turned on. Like somebody went underneath it. It was like smack, and they like flipped the switch underneath the mountain, and it went from not pulsating, not like being magnetic at all, not having that magnetic monopole on, and they just totally turned that bitch on, and it's like all of us went, and we just like flew in like a magnet into the Black Rock, and we're like there on a refrigerator, That's the visual I just got. Okay, it was like pulled us all back into that but that's the center, the magnetic monopole, right? It pulls us all back into the center. You can even think of it in like Looney Tunes when they're all in that, at the end of the Looney Tunes, when they're all in the bubble, right? And they're all hanging out of the bubble, abity, that's all, folks, right? And then at the end, they all whoop, and then the bubble goes whoop, and it's gone, right? You'd definitely have to be part of boomers, Gen X, millennials to know what that meant. Okay, with Looney Tunes. But or a very neglected modern day child that has lots of time to watch old school cartoons. All right. All right, visuals. Okay, visuals. But that's the visual that I'm so antsy to. You see me, I'm moving so much more right now. Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it's like the draw back in, like it's like game over, Jumanji, game over, like it's gone. And there's that aspect to it too, because the feminine, we see, we know what the primordial is, and then we see and we know what this world is that we're experiencing. And this whole, I'm going to get on a tangent here, and that's okay. It's a little sidetrack, but it's going to come around. I don't know why, but it wants to come out, so I'm going to let it. So within the ascension process, what this that we see is, with all of this, is super heavy masculine. This is a very masculine road to ascension. Females, we don't necessarily need all of this. We do because we chose to take on what is known as the distorted masculine template in this. So we everybody has a masculine and feminine in there. Now you can take on the distortions, okay, templates, the distorted female and the distorted masculine. Okay, templates. And you don't have to have both distorted. I know I came in with both distorted. And I've had to work through both of those templates to rewrite my feminine and to rewrite my masculine out of toxic. Okay, my own personal masculine, not a person that shows up as masculine in my life. My own characteristics as masculine energy and feminine energy. That's what I mean. Okay. Collectively, we have also done this. Okay. So collectively, we are clearing the distorted masculine. Period. Okay. And that's what this has been, as the masculine is mental, the feminine is emotional. Okay. And so we have taken the majority of people that are on their spiritual journey, you included, are on a masculine journey. You are going through the mind. You are going through the mental path. Okay. And that is to clear up the distortions in the masculine template of the collective. Okay. Because no woman ever needs to take a masculine path to embodiment, ever, unless it is to clear the template for that lineage. Okay. Or for the collective. Because the feminine, or this is why Mary Magdalene's story, because it's all mythology, the Bible's all mythology, but that's why her shit was taken out. Because once you become a mother, truly a mother, you are, I mean, not all mothers, I get it, not all, my mother was toxic AF, I'm not going to say all mothers, but honestly, once you become a mother, you're nurturing, you're loving, you're kind. Your daily life is cooking and cleaning. You don't need to go sit on a fucking mountain, meditate to be calm and peaceful. You get calm and peaceful because you got one baby on your hip, another baby in your belly, and the other one running around smacking, going bing, bing, bang, bang, boom, boom, bing, bing, bang, bang, boom, boom. Crash as my son comes crawling in the door. Like, you get, hey, you're home? Love you. You get tested by life. Okay, you get challenged, your patience, everything, and life, being a mother softens you. That and that makes you enlightened. That makes you awaken into your own softness as a feminine and as a masculine, and how you're going to approach. Now, I'm not taking into consideration all of the societal expectations and, you know, this rise of hyper independent females, and I'm not taking any of that consideration. I'm going off a very blasé baseline of what we're doing collectively and what the feminine archetype you know, this enlightenment shit was for men because they don't have the same womb connection that women do. And that's just it is. They could have had they could have came in as a female. Every soul is androgynous. It doesn't have a sex. Okay. But you have to have certain fucking skills to come in as a female. It means you got to have certain lifetime experiences as a man, and you have to overcome the mental and the sexual lust, desire nature that the mental, the masculine, the ego, you have to overcome ego. And if you don't overcome ego, you continue to come in as man. Okay. And then once you do, you get to come in as female. I don't give a shit if you disagree with me. Fine. Disagree with me. I agree with what I'm saying because I experienced it and I know it as truth. Okay. And it's just like any other evolution, you with coming into a human form. You don't just get to bippity boppity fucking boo to be a human. You have to go through a dashi cycles. Those are not just Keylontic words. That is in the Hindu Sanskrits. Dashi cycles. And those are 1,500 plus years each as one element. 1,500 years as one element. Earth, 1,500 years. Air, fire, water, and then ether. Each one of them is 1,500 years as an element. And then you get to become an animal, and then you get to become a tree, and then you get to become a human. So there's processes into becoming. Okay. And then a human, you're going to start out as man, and then you get to move into woman because it's a different connection. It's a different level of spiritual connection and mastery and appreciation for the earth, for the experience of being in this earthly heart plane, because the earth is an anagram for heart, and it's the heart. And ego, you have to work through ego, which is solar plexus, to become heart. Make sense? If it doesn't, oh well, move on. Take what resonates and leave it. I don't care. I told you it was going to go on a side rant. I don't know why, but it did. Take it. All right. I have never once, I was not intending on, that was not an intentional rant, but that needed to come through. All right. So this dislocation, that's what the shadow is. So the second shadow is the shadow of dislocation, which is an interesting word. It implies both the sense of being lost in time and space and of dismemberment. However, when you feel lonely, cut off, afraid, or dejected, you have never actually lost your way. It just feels that way. The shadow state is really only a human perspective rooted in your biological functioning. There is no single moment in your life that is not perfectly in harmony with all creation. Neither is there the slightest possibility that you can make a wrong decision or take a wrong turn in life. It is all simply nuances in your biology. Your biology determines your perception, and your perception is the measuring stick for your evolutionary frequency. Evolutionary frequency refers to the current state of advancement of your awareness. Human awareness is following an evolutionary curve. It began as a primitive form of instinct rooted in our animal origins, then took a great leap at a certain point in history as the brain began to evolve, and as we moved into this current phase as thinkers. All right. So the splitting, it's coming in me. I gotta keep pausing with this. I'm gonna take down the screen share because I don't know if you guys are even focusing on that. So what was coming through just now was the splicing of the DNA and the Lemurian consciousness. I talked about this in my live on Instagram the other day. Lemurian consciousness is moon. Hyperpolarian, which is the first root race, is Polarian. Hyperborean is the second root race, and Lemurian is the third root race. All three of those are moon, lunar, magnetism, black sun energies, period. Point blank and simple. And that created the Adam Cadman, which is a semi-etheric being. And so when you think of Lemuria, stop thinking about stupid mermaids that are living in fucking Hawaii. That is not what it is. That's some bullshit new age crap. Okay? These are cosmic motherfucking mermaids that were in the ether. Okay? So we had a different holographic reality because we don't see and nothing grows. We project and it is because it's already in us. Okay. So the Adam Kataman is the angelic human. And then we had the down step when spirit's like, okay, we have created everything in the spirit. Now it is time to make it manifest in the physical. So the moon, the creative all potential, brought spirit. And now it's time to make it into the physical, which is solar expression, which is where the Atlantean race, the fourth root race, became made manifest because then it needed a plane of existence to play itself upon, which is the earth plane, the heart plane. And so our dielectric plane that was pure ethereal energy, that was cosmic in all nature, that was just pure cosmic waters, that had nothing to do with earthly waters or bodily waters that we have now. No. So they had to make manifest. So that was where the fourth root race comes in. And that's when the causal plane was built and established during the Atlantean reign. And this is where the sun cult, sun worship came in. And this is where the priesty manipulation and the demonization of the moon and all that what came at the end of the Atlantean time, the Atlantean fall. Okay, fall from grace. Grace said, fuck you. You want to go be an adult on your own? You want to disassociate? That's fine. Everything is perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. Kids leave college, leave home, and they're like, fuck my mom and dad. I'm in college. I do what I want. What? All right. And the parents are like, what are you doing? Racking up my credit card bills. You're going to need to get a part-time job, son. Okay. We're living the cosmic mother, father, child. We are the earthly mother, father, child. Like it is the same dynamic. It's the same dynamic. Okay. And so the Atlantean expression is the sun. And that was the creation of the solar or the manifest, because solar sun is to make manifest. Okay. So that was the manifestation. And that was the creation of the causal plane. And then we had our fall from grace. And then we had the great deluge, which was the really big reset that allowed for consciousness to downstep. So in Atlantis, this is when we had the genetic splicing. All right. And then it continued on after in the, but here's why, and everything's perfect because it has to be. So we go from being these ascended beings that are naturally at certain ages. Your soul comes online at 12, at 30, at 21, you get your avatar consciousness or your Buddhic consciousness, and then at 33 you get your avatar Christ consciousness. That's how it was. Okay, that's how it was. And then because of what we had to do was to downstep, because we're bringing spirit fully into the physical, and that we're merging the earthly realm with the spiritual realm, or heaven and earth coming together. So we have to downstep consciousness. Okay, the consciousness, which is ever present, never dying, but it needs to downstep deeper and deeper into the earthly physical realm. Okay, mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, vegetable kingdom, and mind, human, which is mind. Okay, manas kingdom. So those are the four that's the four corners. That's the earthly realm. The four Rohini. Okay, and this is why it connects to Taurus. And this is why we have the Pleiades being the mothers or the birthers, the creators of the sage, the sages. Sorry, it's clap. I gotta remember it. I get so much going in the brain. Okay, the sages, right, which are the Elohim, which are the 7 rays of the rainbow. So the Pleiades gave birth to that. All right, so they downstep their frequency for a form and creation and earthly material, the ability to create from nothing and make it into a form. Okay, and this is why it said that the human that we are now is of the Pleiadian descent, right? The New Age shit's like, oh, well, the form we are now, we're the seed, Terra seed, or whatever the fuck they want to call that. We're the second seeding, third seeding of human, la, 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 from the Pleiadian type, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyways, this is the human form to begin with. We're just different sizes. and different motifs of jaw lines and things like that. Because you got to understand more animal or mammalian, okay, animal kingdom, vegetable kingdom, mineral kingdom, and human mind. It's mind. So those four. And so what you see is in the root races, okay, after with the Atlantean and the fall there, what they did is they started splicing the DNA with animals. This is why it talks about it in the first what is it called? The Bible, the First Testament. Okay, the First Testament, and then there's the New Testament. Okay, Old Testament, New Testament. Old Testament. Hold on. What's on fire? Oh, turn down the heat. You don't need it that hot. It is. I can smell it burning. Don't argue with me. Just turn it down. You don't need that. You have a tiny pot on a full burner. Sorry, children. Pausing. Sorry, guys. I'm live. I thought the house was burning down. Anyways, so they started genetically splicing and putting in. So they had like the perfect body and form, and it was a different form than we are now. They had more of the Adam Cadavan, which just meant that they, in the Atlantean root race, so they weren't the ethereal, okay, but they were able to ascend to that by 33 years old. All right. And then because of the, starting to fall into greed, into I want this, I want control and power, blah, 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 the human mind, the animalistic, all that primal shit. So they started splicing the DNA and adding in more like the primal. They took, then this is done with frequency. This is where the frequency wars come from, the genetic wars, all that stuff. And then this is where the deluge came from and the restart. And after the great flood, and then which is, we were washed of all of our memory essentially, and then it continued again, and there was more genetic mutation and mutilation, so there was another reset. All right, so then we get the Aryan root race, okay, which was the fifth root race, and that was the creation of the mind, or the descent of spirit in to elevate the mind. All right. And then we downstepped even further. And with each downstep, we have a reset. And then we have the downstep after the Aryan root race into the Tartarian, which deals with the sacral center, your creative center. And then with the Tartarian, it's why you can fucking look at all of this lost history and all this stuff online now that we see everywhere frequently, where they had what? Technologically advanced what? Creations. Because it was the sacral center. And what we're told is the Shakespearean, the Renaissance, the love was, all that was Tartaria. When they had when all there was to do was to create, because it was all free energy and creative ideas everywhere. All you had to do was fuck and love somebody and play and create things. You didn't have to work your ass off, or everything was free. Okay, everything. And there was world fairs, and they shared their ideas. They shared everything. That sounds to me like a healthy creative center. So that was the Tartarian. That was the sixth root race. Now we're in the seventh. We are burning. We are purifying the sacral, because the sacral creative energy gets blocked by what? The astral emotional fuckery and the attachments that get stuck to us through the astral band, which is the emotional field, which deals with your sacred sexuality, which is why we see so much what? Corn. I said corn. You like, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So you see so much corn everywhere to block people from the creative force, the natural life force that's within us, and it deludes them. They're unable to see beyond the bullshit, beyond their own bullshit. Even if they write these books, still not be able to see beyond their own bullshit, because their creative center is blocked. And then they tell you to stay in fucking relationships, and it's, could it all be worked out by one person? No, it can't. It has to be done by the two people, because they can't see beyond their own fucking egocentric bullshit. Again, it's a masculine mind trying to tell the feminine how to be enlightened. Bitch, I got enlightened the moment I had kids and softened and put them above me. That's every woman. When we get in relationships, that isn't running a toxic, distorted, self-centered, egocentric, all me template. And men run that too. It's an ego-centered template. It's distortion. So once you have a child or somebody else to take care of, a spouse, a parent, you immediately go into nurture and take care, and love unconditionally, which means you will self-sacrifice, which I get it. That's distorted way of thinking too. But my point is the feminine naturally knows the path to enlightenment is unconditional love. And that's why there's a rampant new age everything out there about how to be enlightened and how to get there and blah, 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 blah. When it's just love yourself, love thy neighbor, and have good boundaries, treat your body right, and everything else will align in time. I love that I know the Gene Keys, that I came into all this mysticism. I love, but that would have came to me naturally. And it did come to me naturally. I didn't go seeking this. Life happened naturally for me. I didn't go to theology fucking school to do any of this. I didn't go to psychology. I didn't go into what do they call it? They're not a Montessori, but you know what I mean? I didn't go to a temple. I didn't go find a fucking guru. This shit came to me. So that's the magnetism of the woman. Life will come to you, and you will know what to do with it. So be it that you are healthy in your heart and not in your ego, or not in your distorted astral sacral shit. And so we are the phoenixes. We are the new future human. We are the next root race, which is the seventh root race, which is the angelic, which is the all, which means that we are bringing spirit fully and totally into the physical. Fully. And that means that the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, the animal, the mammalian kingdom, and the mind all have to coalesce. They all have to come into harmony with each other. All right. All of the elements come in, and the fifth element is the ether. It is the spirit fully descended. And then that's whenever you become the totality and your Merkaba shining, glowing, you become the semi-etheric being, the angelic being in presence. Your aura, your DNA, your frequency, your emanation, your words, not necessarily the words that you're saying, but the frequency in which you're emanating with those words comes to fruition. And the reason why I've taken the masculine path in this life and taken on what I've done is because, again, it is an integration. It's a collective integration. It's just take another piece of the pie. It's a collective integration. And we had to. All the women. That's why we don't see anything about Mary Magdalene. All that shit got thrown away and burned and all this other stuff. We say, oh, well, they did it to keep us separated. It's all perfect. It all had to be that way because we had to take that path, because we had to go into the masculine and give it a new spin. Oh, you want me to contemplate, meditate all day long? And you want me to do what? And how many rituals? And and be a mother and have a household and have a job? Go suck a fucking dick. I'm going to break it. I'm going to fucking break it. And I'm going to tell the world to go suck a fucking dick. Because I am woman. Okay? That's not just me though. That is like so many women. That is not just me. I'm speaking on behalf, and it may not be you. It may not be you. If you're watching this on the replay or what, it may not be you. That may not be your energy. But I'll tell you what, it is a lot of fucking women. It is a lot of women. Unless they're okay with the masculine ego race of competition and rubbing noses and saying the right thing at the right time so that you can get, it's looking at people like objects. You can get something out of them. I'll play the game. I'll get something out of it. You're just as bad as them. Welcome to the boys club, bitch. You ain't a woman anymore. You a man. Go tram. That's how that's I know I'm on a rant here, but this is it's not even something I even think about on a regular. I'm telling you right now, this is just part of the transmission. It's the fiery Krita. It's the Uranus shit cutting through. Man, if I put this on YouTube, on public, let's see. Okay, let's move forward into the 2. Who's wanted to hang up so far? All right, so don't answer that. It's rhetorical. I really don't want to know. Let me take a drink of my fizzy bubbly, not so healthy for me drink. But it tastes good. Okay, so actions that come out of trust have very different results from actions that come out of fear. The former creates more energy for everyone, and the latter takes energy from everyone. In your personal life, if you allow it, the second shadow will affect every decision you make, pulling you into an interference frequency. This means that you don't appear to be in synchronicity with life. So you miss opportunities that would serve you and end up in repetitive patterns that can be very draining for all concerned. However, the second shadow of dislocation is an integral part of the script of life. It actually allows you to experience being out of the universal flow, even though this experience is an illusion. Ultimately, even the level of frequency that courts chaos is part of the overall fabric of existence. The second shadow allows you to witness your own helplessness as you seek to escape the feeling of disassociation and loneliness. Okay, because that's what it is. You come into a numbness. It's like entropy. The entropy is the numbness, and the disassociation is the expression of like, or the the numbness is actually a feeling, but the disassociation is like a physical manifestation of that numbness. You're dislocated. You're not feeling in alignment, but you are. You're just having to sit with that feeling of oh, this is what it feels like to move through and change stations. Like when you're going through a dial on an AM FM radio station, you know what I mean? Like you're not every station, is or full. It has a radio, has a music coming out of it, right? Sometimes it's like skips through many channels before you get to the next one, right? And you're like, oh, okay. So that's the same thing. It's like as you're changing frequencies, you're in a sense of dislocation. You're like, oh, my world's gone upside down. I'm not in synchronicity anymore. Everything's not working out for me. That's great. Good. How does that feel? How does it feel that not everything's working out for you? Because then now you can get humble. Bitch, be humble. Now you can get humble, and you can like experience that suffering, that pain that somebody else is in, and allow themselves to just stay in. You get, it's not to say that you're not humble or that you didn't know what that feels like, but it's a remembering of like, oh yeah, oh, when I wasn't connected to myself. But even now, it doesn't matter if I'm not in synchronicity. I know that everything's working out for me because I'm just that connected to myself, so that I am God within. That, like, no matter what hell I've been through over the last 6 months, year, 2 years, 14 years, no matter what, I know that I'm going to get through it because I'm strong in who I am, and my knowing in who I am, my connection to the God within, the Almighty. All right. So, okay. Okay, let me read this. As soon as you enter deeply into the shadow world with your full and honest awareness, it magically appears to change. The shift in your inner honesty precipitates a leap out of the mind and into a newer and far more expansive awareness. One needs to really grasp this insight. You do not change your reality through doing anything. Anything. Again, that's the mind, that's the men, that's the masculine. Do. Bitch, we be. Something stopped my live stream. It says preparing to live stream. Ooh, let me look. I don't know if I'm cussing too much. Jackson, did you change my YouTube channel name? Jack's Cool at Jack's Cool Tac UT7YM. Bro. Hold on, guys. If I did, I don't know how. Are you forking kidding me? I am still live on YouTube. Okay, thank you. I don't know what he did to my stuff. Okay. I'm gonna have to look at that. Stay off my stuff. It keeps saying preparing live stream. It's not saying that I'm streaming. Yeah. And now I'm just, it says no content available, no videos, no live streams. And I'm on what was Quirky Cosmo. It was Quirky Cosmo, like, I don't know when we started this. Let me pause for a second. Hold on. I think he just got rid of every one of my videos I ever made. What? Jackson did something to my channel. What did Jackson do? Oh no, there's Quirky Cosmo. Okay, I don't know. Okay, no, it's back. Okay, I don't know what that was. Okay, go. You don't want you on screen. Oh, he can do things. Oh yeah, he can, but he didn't. Okay, I don't know what that was then. I don't understand. Okay, so I got just distracted really bad with that. All right, so if it's still going, then it's still going great. So I went to go and see what was going on with that, and it totally gave me like a completely different YouTube channel. All right, that was weird. I'll have to look at that. All right, so there's nothing to do, and being. So women, the feminine energy is being, its presence, and it keeps saying preparing for live stream. That's so okay. No, maybe it's just Zoom then, because they have, again, I talked about this before. If you're not familiar, because I've already said genocide, I've already said a lot of things out loud, very loudly. And so if you don't know, Zoom has a third party monitoring that goes to a foreign country. And so they're monitoring everything that's happening, even on Zoom. So it doesn't even, like, before I couldn't say anything because it would go to YouTube and YouTube would flag it. Now it's being able to be flagged on Zoom itself. So just letting you know, I'm probably going to be switching from Zoom because they're, communists, just like, every other, piece of shit company out there that are selling your information and trying to cut you from being able to speak your truth. Because again, we're in the system of oppression, right? And that's the whole point, is to oppress the people so they can't speak. Because that's the only thing that the algorithm that we've created for ourselves truly to work through. All right. But the way to change that is, again, just to change it within you. There's not a whole lot to do. I mean, I'll shift platforms and things like that, but again, there's a whole lot within us and taking our power back. And so this is where the 2 comes in, orientation. And I want to get there, but I just wanted to finish up this piece here. So there is a perception shift pre-wired into the DNA of every human being. And when it is activated, it occurs in spite of you as an aspect of your biological evolution. At a certain point, your new awareness simply begins to open up. It does so gradually at first, but over time, it coincides with a remarkable improvement in the quality of your life. As you see it, so it changes within yourself. Okay, so it's all an internal job. That's why it's all about going into your inner alchemy. And you're listening to like Neville Goddard, who's speaking about the law of assumption, and if you what you desire and what it is, what you say it is, therefore it becomes the law of assumption, right? And Neville Goddard, talking about going inward into the imagination and creating the world that you wish to see within you and living in it as if it's already existing, All right, so let's talk about here. One of the most interesting of these concerns is the ordering of the first and second gene keys or hexagram. There is strong evidence that the oldest versions began with the second hexagram, gene key 2, representing the complete yin, the patriarchal system that translated the original text must have swapped the prime yin for the prime yang. Esoterically and mythically, it makes far more sense to begin with the feminine rather than the masculine. Again, it depends on your frequency. At the shadow frequency, the masculine always comes first, which becomes the way of distrust, separation, and force. The feminine approach, however, is based on unity, surrender, and trust, which are all hallmarks of all higher frequency. Furthermore, one of the translations for this hexagram is known as kun, is the word field. This is a beautifully adept word described in the second gene key because it represents the universal field in which we live. To move in harmony with this field is to be oriented, and to move out of harmony with the field is to be disoriented or dislocated. So beautiful. And the second gene key is the gift of orientation, and it's called mineral magnetism. And so the process in the second shadow involves orientation, the second gift. At the shadow frequency, you experience disorientation, whereas you begin to reach out to the gift dimension, you become reoriented with the field of everything that's going on around you. So the gift of orientation has two phases. It either comes as a shift in your awareness that then affects your actions, or it comes as a shift in your actions, which then catalyzes a shift in your awareness. You want me to read that again? So it has two phases. It comes as either a shift in your awareness that then affects your actions, or it becomes as a shift in your actions that then changes and catalyzes a shift in your awareness. Whichever tone you experience takes there a number of indicators that precede your permanently residing at a gift level of frequency. One of the key experiences that people have is an increased feeling and occurrence of synchronicity. Synchronicity is the direct manifestation of the gift of orientation. It allows you to peep through the keyhole of existence and place yourself in a wider perceptual context. Synchronicity cannot be forcibly created, but flow out of the feminine nature of the second gift of orientation. Okay. Okay. Whoa. I could read all of this, but I don't want to take that much time. I truly don't. It's already 3 o'clock. We're well into the stream, and I didn't even, because I've gone on tangents from the energies that are with me. In every being, so let's go here. The second gift has a special role within your DNA in that it creates a kind of attractor field around you. It not only unifies the microcosm with the macro, which is you with the cosmos, but it also unites matter and spirit. A secret resides in the chemicals and amino acids for which this gene key codes. In every human being, there are certain minerals that have magnetic properties. In the second gift, this second gift concerns the chemical composition and purpose of these minerals. These minerals in your bodies, and particularly those in our endocrine glands, appear to tell us how to live life in or out of harmony. For example, in the tissues of the pineal gland, biologists have discovered a frivolous chemical known as magnetite. This mineral has been proposed as a key in linking electromagnetic activity to cellular function. The fact is the fact that it has also been found in most animals suggests that all creatures have a built-in magnetic guidance system that keeps them in alignment with their wider rhythms, which then again pulls me back to the vision that I had with the magnetic monopole and being drawn like a magnet back to the magnetic monopole. But that magnet is also, again, it's in our pineal pituitary, it's in these tissues here. And then we also have piezoelectric crystals that are in our pineal pituitary gland that, they fizz and fuse together whenever you have the correct secretion of chemicals that are, created from serotonin, specific chemicals, melatonin, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, all of these chemicals that are created in our brain that create, when they are activated and charged by the fission and fusion of the piezoelectricity in your pineal pituitary, or your third eye, that they charge, and that creates fission, that creates friction with the chemicals that are being created, what we call the milk and the honey, essentially. And then that creates the heat creates those chemicals to create a different chemical together when they mix. And then that creates that magnetism and that ability, like where we go on the hero's journeys with the psychedelics or the LSD or the DMT or the Bufo. So it's the same alteration, but this is a natural process that we don't have to force, right? That our body is going to naturally align with once we come into orientation, once we orient to our truth, right? The universal field of consciousness and awareness, and we get out of the mental mind of the ego and the spiritual, and the social cultural conditioning, and the religious dogma and all of the ideologies and expectations that have been preset and pushed upon us that we have to work through in order to go, okay, yeah, that's not me either. Again, that's another set of rules and limitations that have been pushed on me that I thought I had to do because everybody else was doing, and I was told that this is how it's done, but really it wasn't. I just needed to come back into myself. Again, this is like what I liked about reading and participating in this book. One of my favorite books. I highly suggest you get this. If you don't, it's just a great book. The Artist's Path. Okay, the Artist's Path, whatever. The Artist's Way, by Julia Cameron. It's probably one of the most popular books that are out there. Okay, but this is bringing you into you, right? This is where I started. This is one of the books I started with when I got the Gene Keys and creativity. And when I read it through, and I was like, oh, I just need to be me. And like, that's how I created the AstroKeys. Nobody was doing this. Nobody was taking the Gene Keys and astrology and human design and linking and syncing that shit together. I started that. That came through for me like 8 years ago, 2017. That was coming through for me. And I looked like a crackhead in my room with all of these different things. I was like, this matches, that goes with this, that. And there was no systems that had it all together. There was no genetic matrix. And even whenever there was genetic matrix, it didn't get on there until I fucking was like, hey, we need to get astrology with this too. Let's get a wheel. Let's get the mandala and the astrology on there. Okay, because I wanted it. But anyways, we learn like that, again, we've had to break through the dissonance, this disorientation, right? To come back into our bodies. We're so out of body. We're so disassociated with our body and our truth because we've been told all our life how to be, who to be, And so, of course, we get into the spiritual, and it's like, oh, it's got to be masculine. You got to do yoga. So actually, all you really need to do is pick up a paintbrush and meditate, masturbate, enjoy your life, feel your feels and sing a little bit and live your life. And it was just going to naturally happen for you. It was naturally going to come for you. But yet we push, when we're pushing, we're forcing, and we're disassociated, we're dislocated, right? We're in force. Then we're not in that feminine approach. We're not in trusting the process. And then we go into hypervigilance. Oh, I'm going to get left behind. I've been a mom. I haven't been conscious all my life. I'm going to get left behind. You're not going to get left behind. You're not going to get left behind. People that are in hustle, the meek shall inherit the earth, not the overeducated. not the hyper fucking spiritualized, not the goddamn gurus. You know, you're never going to get left behind if you're just in faith and trust and in nurturance and in your heart, you being true to who you are. That's why they say love isn't the highest frequency, authenticity is. I'm so authentic. Are you? Are you? Who are you authentic to? What group? What group of authenticity are you trying to be? Are you really being authentic to who the fuck you are? Yeah. So the second city of unity, divine logic. I love it. I love it. This is channel, guys. This is pure rantish feminine channel. Ta-da. I love you guys. I hope you don't feel that I'm projecty. You know that this is just messagey, right? Okay. I love you guys. I love you. Oh gosh. Okay, so the second city describes the experience of enlightenment or awakening. It is the cornerstone of all the Siddhic states. Being as it is, the essence of the divine feminine pole has a great mystery within it. Because in certain sense, it cannot be said to be a pole at all. The masculine pole is very simple and straightforward, but the feminine pole is beyond any sense of reason and understanding. The masculine principle is really an externalization of the feminine rather than a duality. Ooh, the masculine principle is really an externalization of the feminine rather than a duality. Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I mean, no joke. I came in with both poles distorted. So it's like, I get it. I'm not capping. I'm not clowning. I get it. I'm shit. Okay. But I didn't write that. All right. But I'll own it. I mean, I guess one aspect of the almighty I am did. Okay. Okay, where is that? But the feminine, okay, pull it all. The masculine pole is very simple and straightforward. Okay. The masculine principle, okay, at the masculine principle is really an externalization of the feminine rather than a duality. At the Siddhic level, there is no such thing as duality. Duality is destroyed by a strange kind of divine logic. At this heightened level of awareness, mathematics works differently than on the mental level. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, but always makes 3. I kind of like makes me think of Terrence Howard, who he's like, 1 × 1 isn't 1, it's 2. You know, like yes, new math. We're doing new math. 1 + 1 is not 2, it is 3. You know, I love it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Duality is destroyed. Okay. One is 1. It is the only numbers that really exist at the Siddhic level are 1 and 3. 1 is 1. It is consciousness resting in its own nature. It is the ultimate state of yin or femininity, or as the second hexagram is often known, it is the receptive. Words such as receptive, feminine, yielding, or mother can be misleading when we tend to understand them as poles with opposites. However, they hint at what lies beyond them, so we need to consider them in a different way if we are to grasp what the second city really means. This is something that can only be grasped intuitively. Thus, when the one externalizes itself as a manifestation in form, it has not created a duality, but a trinity. Every duality is really a relationship, and every relationship is really a 3. There is man, a woman, and instantly there is also a couple, or the relationship itself, or the fucking auric field that the creation creates, or what we call the child. Okay? The divine mathematics, the number 2 is always an illusion. It cannot logically exist. If you can say anything at all about the number 2, you might say it is a bridge. A dynamic process is instantly transmuted before it is even born. There are concepts that cannot be approached with ordinary logic, just like the quantum particles in physics that avoid our definition because they appear to be linked to our very perceptual apparatus. Oneness cannot be comprehended, only lived. Enlightenment is not an experience. This is a sentence to meditate upon like a Zen koa. If you see oneness as an experience to be attained or that may one day happen to you, then you are caught within that straight line between 2 points. The third thing is transcendence. It does not occur to you, rather it negates you. Ironically, transcendence does not take you away from life, as its name might suggest. It places you right in the heart of life, where you have always been. It unifies all opposites, ends all riddles, leaves all mysteries just as they are, and brings a sense of trust that cannot be described. One cannot really use a word like trust to describe the city of unity because trust suggests duality again. That there is somehow a truster and a trustee. This is a wonderful dilemma of the acidic state. So the second city carries a specific mythology when it is manifested through an individual in the world of form. As one of the primary pillars of your DNA, the life of one who lives with the city is of great relevance to our evolutionary history. These beings exert an enormous magnetic influence on our entire planet. Although it may sound science fiction, the expression of the second city in a human being actually changes the direction of the Earth as it moves through space, because it doesn't move through fucking space at all. But that's fine. The second city can only therefore be born into the world of humanity in our whole species, if our whole species makes a leap in consciousness. In order for such a leap to be made, we have to wait for a certain set of geometric coordinates to line up in the cosmos. These are the alignments the astrologers are always seeking to find to understand in the heavens. The second city is mythically represented by the Star of Bethlehem in the Christ myth. Excuse me. Other cultures have also, that was a confirmation verb, that we're oriented into this quantum leap, but we already know that. Other cultures have stories of great beings connected to the appearance or alignment of stars and comets in the heavens. This city, therefore, tells us something about the ultimate state of consciousness. It is linked not only to when we are, but also to where we are. The Earth itself is on a trajectory through the galaxy, and at certain points in our time frame, it moves into alignment with the other geometric aspects of the cosmos. The ancient Mayans, for example, believed that in the year 2012, the Earth would be in direct alignment with the hub of our galaxy, which for them signified the birth of the age of heightened consciousness. At such junctions, time and space, the second city may well incarnate again on our planet. And in the case of the 2012, it is most likely to do so through a whole generation rather than through a single individual. According to the planetary genetic time clock that is derived from the I Ching, we will experience another great access point in the year 2027, as the precession of the equinoxes transits into the 55th gene key, opening up the potential for the genetic shift in humanity. Both dates, 2012 and 2027, are hugely significant within the time frame of the publication of this book, but many access points will follow in the near future. The second city is the original nature of consciousness itself. That's all that really matters. The second city is the original nature of consciousness itself. I could have fucking skipped everything else and just said that. Okay? And it manifests as a highly beautiful plan unfolding in time and space, swept along by the currents of evolution. All such mythic journeys echo the journey of the Earth and of our universe. And as they all begin by leaving the warm comfort of the mother and home, so they must one day return again to that same embrace. We're going home. This indeed is our final destiny as a species, to realize our state of oneness and unity with all that is. I'm going home, I'm coming home, tell the world I'm coming home. I'd already wrote that earlier. I'd already wrote in the notes. I know everything's blurry. Again, I'm not understanding why my camera is doing this, but home. I wrote that earlier. That has been a theme. I'm coming home again with that visual that I had of pulling us back into the magnetic monopoles, and then with the Looney Tunes, and then back to the black hole. I really want you guys to, I'm not the only person that thinks about this stuff. I have a dear soul brother. His name is Devin Magley. He's got Flat Earth Paradise, and he's got so many videos on this being a holographic matrix, and then going back into, like once the 144,000 we have reached the frequency of 144,000, meaning that our crowns have opened, our crown chakras open, that light, that connection, then we go back into the center, we go back to the Garden of Eden. It's kind of like a reset without having the reset reboot of the wash or the mud floods or, being hit with by plasma. Because essentially how all those burnt down buildings happened, these were the Star Wars. They like to say it was from the stars, motherfuckers. No, it was from your airships and you utilizing the solar light to burn buildings like laser, like Project Blue Beam that they're doing now with laser beams from the sky, and using satellites or weather balloons that they're calling satellites up there to manipulate, or Elon Musk bullshit and all his little micro cell fucking drones that are now floating around in the sky. What do they call that? Something link something or other. Go fucking link yourself and fuck off. Whatever it's called. So again, these were Star Wars. Feminine, my feminine is a little frisky. She's a little frisky right now. I know I wasn't frisky when I got into this. So I'm just telling you, the energy I'm channeling is a little frisky. It's a little krita, and a little rohini right now. It's a little Hades and a little Pleiades. All right, but yeah, this energy here is like the divine feminine is back. That energy has come back. But what I was getting at with this is this reset. I don't believe what he just said about the alignments, because they use tropical astrology. I don't align with that crap. And then I also don't believe in the calendar, that we're even in the year of 2024, because I don't believe that 19 anything existed. I think it was I, just like it talks about in the hidden history, it was an I or a J, Roman numeral, and then they took that and made it into a one, and here's a fake date. So I don't believe the dates that we're living in. Doesn't fucking matter about the date and the time. That's why it says in the Bible, nobody will know the date or the fucking time, because the calendars are all fucked, right? So we need to look at the sky. We need to look at the stars. We need to look at the constellation. We need to look at the alignments. We don't need to look at, oh, well, this is what my computer says, because this is a modulation of what it could be and what it was if there wasn't a precession of the equinox. Bullshit. So no, we look at the fucking stars to guide us as they are. But see, the world is all fucking used to being around manipulation and gaslighting and narcissism, right? That's the collective, is the narcissistic psychopaths. Okay, so whenever you busted through the narcissistic psychopath that has been put into your life to keep you small, keep you limited, keep you held in a fucking box, so your feminine wouldn't be able to be like, this is what? Fuck that shit. Right? So when you get liberated, and I mean it, like you could be a man, your feminine gets liberated, it's on. It doesn't mean you're going to cry like a little bitch. Most women, we cry, yeah, but we also balls up. We also have gumption in us. Like, what? You said what? Who? Huh? Oh, you didn't. No, we can fight. We can fight. We also choose to not do that. We prefer just to be loving and talk things out, but don't get the shit twisted. Like I say this all the time. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than beg for permission. I'm gonna do what the fuck I need to do. I'm good with God. I'm good with the decisions that I fucking make. It's me or you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. On every fucking level. And that's I'm telling you, like this pussyfoot shit that we see out there with the feminine, that is not feminine. That is fucking, what is the lowest part of the maiden? That is maiden shit. That's maiden energy. Just suck my pussy. Just do what you want. I'll listen. I'm a good girl. That's what it looks like to be molded by society. That's what that's pushover shit. That's what happens whenever you're, what is it called? Groomed. That's grooming. And it's like spiritually acceptable to be groomed. Okay, that's not divine feminine. A divine feminine will not allow for shit to fuck shit for too long. I like that. That's like my new phrase, fuck shit. Okay. Again, I do get tired of these unrealistic ideals of what it means to be conscious, to be spiritual, to be a feminine, or to be a divine feminine. And they're force. It's a force to be reckoned with. It doesn't. It is that Amazonian energy in us that's like no. But not every person is like that. Don't get me twisted. There's very intelligent women. There's very savvy women, like business smart women, very emotionally mature, very cultured and refined. There's a refining to it too, but there's different types of divine feminine energy. But I'll tell you right now, it isn't soft and sweet and dainty and pushover. That's a maiden. Okay. That's groomed feminine. Okay. To live in a masculine fucking picket white fence reality. Okay. Do as you're told. Be seen and not heard. And make sure when you're seen, you look good. Otherwise, I'll get something new to replace you because that's how that works. All right. That was a little ranty. All right. Where am I going with this? The feminine energy, the returning of the one, and to the unity within you. That unity consciousness. Now, that does not mean, again, this is the magnetic energy pulling it in. And so, what I feel here is, again, this we've already hit that zero, that energy of the returning home, returning to yourself, returning to your power, returning to that bigger understanding of what we're here for, and putting that into practice, putting that out into the world, putting that into practicality, into the material reality, using your divine masculine energy to create that for you, right? To bring those desires, that fantasy, that desire, that which fantasy is not always an illusion delusion. Fantasy can just it's a ooh, I want to try that, and then it becomes a desire. Like I'm going to fulfill that little fantasy. And I'm like, oh, I don't really go for so well. Let's try another one, And so that's what we're doing. So it's this feminine energy coming in and creating that masculine. So there's such a balance within the collective right now with the sun and the earth and Jinki 1 and 2. Again, the earth is in Jinki 1, so that's kind of funny because the earth is obviously our evolution sphere, so it's this hurdle, which is probably where you're kind of feeling that one energy coming. I didn't even talk about the one today, but it's the yang, yang, whatever. It's the young energy, and so it's the dance of Shiva. Oh, I posted Shiva too. I posted Shiva in my stories today. How interesting! It's the dance of Shiva. Oh my God. And we're already at like what? Oh God, we're so far into this. Okay, I only have one piece that I have here that it says read. Okay, so the dancing figure of Lord Shiva from the Hindu. And I was already talking about the nakshatras. My God, of course. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. If you need to leave, you can leave. All right. So the dancing figure of Lord Shiva from the Hindu pantheon is just one of these figures whose dance both to destroy and creates all existence. Oh, we do not know exactly why we humans feel gloomy on certain days and happy on others, despite our thousands of theories. Just as there is an external weather, there is also an internal weather, and it differs in every human being. Yet it is the very unpredictable nature of these internal weather patterns that so many of us struggle with. Amen, hallelujah. Yes, I'm constantly asking God, please help me with this one. God, please help me, please. Please shut my mouth whenever I don't know how to. Please, God, shut my mouth when I don't know how to. All right. Seriously. When you feel that movement of creation inside you, you're happy. When you feel entropy inside you, you are no longer happy. Entropy is like a numbness. Okay. This continual interplay of energy in your life makes you want to always maintain the happy side and escape the gloomy side. Herein lies the greatest flaw in your nature and the distortion of the true energy of entropy into depression. Okay. All right. Most depressive states are a result of resisting certain shadow frequencies within our genetic matrix. Right. Again, because we'll repress, we'll deny, we'll. Are you sure it's still live? Nope. Not a damn bit of it. Oh, no, it is. Maybe. It says live. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay. I'm just like, you know who I'm thinking of? You got to know who I'm thinking of right now because she'd have my ass if she missed this one. I get like blown up, you know. Where is it at? Where is it at? Did you forget? Where's it at? You know who you are. So if I don't see it, I'm like, oh my God, B is going to get me. She's going to come buzzing. No. Okay. So the state of entropy. Okay. So the state of entropy is rather like a vacuum state. Your system is recharging, so your energy within you withdraws into a kind of stasis. So it is so important to not dismiss the ebbs and the flow, like the ebb of life. It's so important to sit in your shit, even though you're swampy and it's icky and you don't like it and the mosquitoes are coming. It's just, okay? It's, but it's recharging you. Like in the last, I know that you guys really don't know what I look like on a regular basis anyways, but I will say this. You can see it in my arms. Like, and I'm not doing like a bunch of working out or anything like that, but you can see it in my arms. Like once you move through that entropy and because you go into depression because you're refusing to acknowledge the fuck shit that you feel. So you go into depression. And so when you acknowledge the abandonment, the rejection, the betrayal, the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting that you've done to yourself, that you're allowing others to do to you, the power plays, all these things, when you realize and you finally allow yourself to go, I'm gonna look. It's scary. Oh my God, they're evil. Holy shit, I'm a fucktard. Oh my God, you go through, I'm not really that you're ever a fucktard. Okay, these are things that I would say to myself. I really don't have that being an inner critic. I just have a mouth of a teenager, okay? But I really don't have that bad of an inner critic. I really don't. Like I have so much love for myself because of the stuff that I've gone through, but I do talk like that. That's just how I talk. So, but anyways, so once you just like take off that mask and you really see people for who they are, what it is, because it's your external reality, and which means it's your internal reality. And so when you're like, oh my God, I've been betraying myself, I've been cheating on myself, I've been lying to myself, I've been, even though it's another person that's doing it, a friend, a family member, or I've been ghosting myself, or I've been deluding myself, like I've been letting people take my power, or, I've not been, blocking people as soon as like I get a hit that they're talking shit about me. I need to block them, but I'm like, oh, I feel bad. And I'm like, why do you feel bad? But once you start to do all the things that you need to do and say the things that you need to say, then all the shit falls away. All the weight that you carry falls away because it's just baggage. It's just energy. And it's in your spirit bodies. And the more ick that's in your astral and mental plane, then the more ick that's in your physical. It shows up physically. And so when we start listening to the truth and not to what everybody else fucking says, this is the way to gain enlightenment, this is the way to be spiritual, this is the way to da 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 da, and you just be and stop do. But then I don't know why I'm talking with so many non-word words, action words, sounds, effects, but I am. So I'm watching myself on the video, like, oh my God. Oh well. So let's when this happens, only when the state mutates is it to its expressive stage will you see what the process is about. So this is from entropy to syntropy, okay, or freshness. So right now I'm reading about the shadow of entropy, page 3. This is the creative process. I don't really want to talk about that anyways. You can reach in key 1 and the shadow. So the gift of freshness, obviously, the gift of freshness relies on one immortal truth. Creativity can never be controlled. Simple. It simply comes when it comes, and when it is absent, there is nothing for you to do but wait and relax, right? Or if you try to push things through, then you get screwed over. Okay, through the codon ring known as the ring of fire, Jinki 1 is chemically bonded to Jinki 14. Jinki 14 is the wagon wheel. It is the abundance, and it's the shadow of compromise, but it is the wagon wheel. So this is the key about abundance, like prosperity. This is the Jinki 14 is also about sharing this wealth, the prosperity, whether it's food, materialistic wealth, or if it's spiritual wealth, but it really is about material wealth. Truly, it is about, it's the golden wagon. It's the leaking golden wagon. So this is the wagon that has gold overflowing it. What tarot card is it? I don't know. I have them right here, but I'm not gonna get them out. But it's the one where you see the guy with the wagon that's like all of this. It's like the pinnacles or coins or something like over. It's your North Node. Wonderful, Marjorie. So, but here's the dilemma with the 14 is if they're in a lack poverty mindset, then they're not able to share. And it's called the leaking wagon at that point because they're leaking out energy everywhere. But once they bring it in and they are like, no, I'm super fucking abundant. I'm here to make you abundant. You're welcome. Just stand next to me and you will get coins. Don't believe me? Boy stands next to dude and all of a sudden coins start coming out of his pockets. He's like, picking it up, taking it back to mom and dad. So this is a very contagious key to have. So if you're wealthy and feeling healthy and prosperous and abundant, then whoever you're with, you share that, you gift that, you expand that in their other people's lives too, because it becomes contagious. But if you're in lack, you share that too, and you'll bring other people into lack with you that are around you. So it's really important to have a Jinki 14 or a codon 14 or gate 14 or fucking hexagram 14 in your soul group. And so that plays with, so Jinki 1 and Jinki 14 are known as they're in the codon ring of fire. All right. And then Jinki 2 and Jinki 8 are in the codon ring of water. And those are the prominent codon rings that are activated right now. They're the rings of fire and water. And when we get fire and water together, what do we get? Steam. And steam is etheric. There's air. It's ethereal. Okay, the Promethean fire. So this is about the city here is about stealing the fire from the gods. And, if we're talking about Rohini and the Brahma, and she's the daughter of Brahma, and she has the creative power to go from taking anything from the primordial fields, right, the void, and bring it into form, then this city is specifically connected to that, because this is about, again, the taking the fire of Brahma, or the spark, the divine idea of creation, and bringing it into the form. And that's bringing something beauty in us. And when beauty catches fire inside you in this way, so let me read this piece. True beauty is emptiness. There is no one to comprehend it and nothing to feel it. It simply does not exist. And this is its paradox. It is not true beauty if it can be spoken of, copied, or shared. It is unique and inexplicable. Beauty is the expression of unity in human form. At a lower frequency, we can only comprehend beauty through light or sound, whether that be a beautiful face, a sunrise, or a piece of music. Our notion of beauty is always rooted in the presence of something rather than in its absence. True beauty has a greater connection to absence, to darkness or silence. But even these words cannot approach it being rooted as they are in the world of duality, language, and opposites. When the first city dawns inside you, everything in the cosmos is experienced as beautiful and fresh. Even the shadow state is beautiful. In beauty, nothing lies outside the unity of everything. Everything is experienced as a unique creative expression of this unity. Everything shines and drips with the essence of its uniqueness, and yet at the same time, it all shares a single source. When beauty catches fire inside you, in this way, you cannot really become a teacher of others, because you now no longer have anything to teach, which we had that discussion. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I teach. Literally, but I feel amped up, anyways, amp. Okay, so side note, how are you possibly to teach the experience of beauty? It is a fire that can only be embraced. Thus, the only fate left to you is to live your life as an example of what humanity will one day become. And your expression of that beauty in form will become a testament in our common future. To awaken in this way is to become a great inspiration to humanity. To be so dangerously unique and beautiful is to draw fire from the forces of jealousy and denial. That's ouch. Okay, the city of beauty is incomprehensible to normal consciousness, as it can only live out its uniqueness without compromise, no matter what happens to it. Thus, it endures our mythologies and often becomes attributed only to our deities. It is the creative Promethean fire of the gods that is stolen by those few who have the courage to be obliterated by it. It is the primal masculine creative force within the universe and is embodied in the great lingam or dick, or the penis of Lord Shiva. They said penis, okay, of Lord Shiva, as well as all of our great cultural symbols of the male fertility. Ironically, beauty becomes enshrined as something outside of us, of something we should aspire to, of something we can never really attain whilst alive. In truth, beauty is our nature. It is right here, right now, inside each and every one of us. It is paradoxically found both in our absolute ordinariness and in our extraordinariness. You will recall the foundation of the first gene key at the shadow frequency is the field of entropy, in which energy ceaselessly moves from order to chaos. While at the Siddhic level of frequency, where frequency itself is obliterated and transcended, we find ourselves in the eternal field of syntropy. Syntropy refers to the movement of energy within infinite dimensions, all imbued with consciousness and all united by order and love. When the inner divine fire is released through your DNA, you become capable of miraculous power. The codon ring of fire unites the two cities of beauty and bounteousness. As such, it represents the energetic germ at the heart of creation and the purpose of existence itself, to create that which is endlessly beautiful and to imbue it with the awareness that it is endlessly beautiful. Wow, what a transmission, a long one at that today. How amazing. Sorry for the long one, guys, and all the tangents, but those are really coming through today. So to kind of recap energetically, we really only talked about 2 gene keys today. There's a lot going on. I did talk about Mercury and Uranus. I didn't talk about the gene keys. I just talked about Krika. Please say if you can send me no, I'm kidding. I'm going to look online how to. I would like to get to know how to say these things in Sanskrit. Or, I would like to know how to say them properly, because I do kind of feel not being able to do it. But it's not my first language, second language, or even near the language that I barely speak English as it is. So, I'm better in tongues. Anyways, my brain goes in a lot of different directions in that one. Okay. So we were talking about beauty. We're talking about unity. And what is that? That is unity within yourself, right? And the beauty is taking that fire, the eternal fire, the I am presence, the knowing of who you are, letting go of all these false limitations. Again, maybe this video, maybe I should just post it onto YouTube and let it go public. Because I feel like the shit that I said in this was very Iranian, cutthroat, to the point. And I feel like that could be a wake-up call for quite some people, if they can even handle hearing it. Again, I don't even know if the masses are really even ready for my kind of energy to come to the forefront. But I mean, if they weren't, then she said testing live. I love you. I just saw your message in here. I've gotten up the studio right now to make sure that the thing was going live for B. and everybody else is watching the replay of this. But yeah, it's like really bringing this beauty into yourself and letting go of all these expectations and ideologies of what enlightenment and spirituality are to look like, sound like, be like. There's so many people out there pushing this, that, and the other. They're like Richard talks about, you're either selling yourself, you're selling a product, or you're selling a truth. Okay, everybody's selling something. You could read Jinky 26 about this one, 26 and 45. But a lot of the times they're selling themselves. They're pimping themselves out. Buy this, do that. I got this. I've made that. They're pimping themselves out. I do this too. I've pimped myself out. I sold myself, but I'm actually selling a truth. I fall in the category of selling a truth more so than selling a product or selling myself. But truth is also based on the perception of the being. You know what I mean? And so, and I do hold, I think, a very expanded perception. Obviously, I have lots of room to grow. Not being ego and saying I don't have room to grow. Totally, always have room to grow. But with the message that came through today, that I was channeling and being a medium for, it's very powerful, and it seems very I want to feminist almost, but it's not. I'm not trying to be a feminist when I'm expressing what I expressed. I'm talking in energetics. I'm talking in real life. Men don't create, women do. We give birth. We got that. We got that unlocked that grows in us, right? And so in that womb, that's nature. So we're bringing more of nature to nature. So if we're in a holographic projected reality, and we're this conglomeration of minerals and elements, all the earthly elements fizzing and fusing together through sound, vibration, and the more light that we crack and awaken within ourselves, the more we express these natures. We are the earth, and so women are giving birth to more earth, and we're extremely connected in that way. And the reason why the feminine principle, the female, has been suppressed and demonized and all that is because we had to go through, as a collective, as a species, we had to go through the masculine, because the masculine energy was too corrupt. It's so corrupt. The ego, the pride, the I'm better than you energy, the lack of care. And so when you can get females to go on that path, they're going to transform it, because it's not going to sit right with nobody. None of them. It's not going to sit right with none of them. Eventually we're going to be like, yeah, I just kind of feel like it in my heart. I feel. You don't feel? You mean you don't feel? So I mean, like that masculine, the masculine that's not attached. So what I'm talking about is like we went through these distorted masculine templates as females, where it's like hate the female, suppress the female, disgust, fuck the moon, bleeding's gross, women, all that stuff. The feminine path, the Mary Magdalene, the whore, degrading the woman. We had to go through that, because women, I mean specifically women, the gender, had to go through that so that we could transform it, because we know it's not true. So essentially we're vindicating the divine feminine template. I'm not saying that men aren't doing it too, because there's very healthy men that are going through this process as well, that are balanced in their feminine and their masculine. But that's why you see the suppression of the female. It's because we needed more energy to go towards overriding the masculine hierarchical patriarchy inversions. We needed more. That's why all that stuff was taken out. And that's just a perception. That's just a perspective to see it. And say, instead of saying like, oh, the feminine path isn't the way, it is the way. It's 100% the way. The nurturance, the unconditional love, that is the way, but we had to take the mental path. There's the yoga, the tantra, and the yogic path. The yogic path is masculine, ritual, books, study. That's the yogic path. Work the body, do. And then there's the tantric path, which is the presence, the being, and the movement with nature, with love and sexuality, sensuality, the senses. That's the tantric path. That's the feminine path. So there's so many people on a yogic path because we have to override the system, essentially, because of all of what we can say is, the body of Christ, which is humanity, was being eaten alive by parasitical beings, which are parasites. Somebody ate way too many donuts in one day. Now they're just full of sugar bugs. Okay, that was humanity. And those sugar bugs were just destroying our brain, having brain fog, not able to see and make decisions from the heart because, we just want to stuff our face with more food because we got sugar bugs. We're like, feed me, feed me, feed me. And then all the negative archons that are in the mental planes and in the astral plane are attaching to our electromagnetic form. And they're attaching into our body through these parasitical, the parasites, essentially. That's what they are. We have good parasites, good bacteria, bad bacteria, but then you have parasites, and the parasites are, that come in through the sugar bugs and all the GMOs and things like that. That's how the demons attach to you. And so we had to purify that. And that's why so many people in this life, the starseed warriors or whatever light workers that are here, it is to purify the body of Christ. And, it's purification through the mind, purification through the emotions, and purification through the physical. And there's people that I pulled different parts here and there and all parts of my journey, just like I'm sure you have. And again, it's that big part of the purification process so that we're not being pulled apart by parasitical thoughts that aren't even ours, that are just lost souls and unfulfilled desires and just demonic, lower frequency energies that come together and create larger energies, clouds of it. They're called jinns. They don't actually have a power, but they siphon it from people. And that's what they call aliens and looshing, da 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 da. So, all right. So that wraps it up. This is a creation. We're going home. We're going home. We've come home to our truth and to our power. And now it is time to co-create from that internal place of awareness and love and nurturance, and to create that in this reality for however that is, that however you want to create. Creating is just creating. It's however you want to create, but that's what it is, to have fun, to play, and allow life to come to you because you're reoriented into love. You're reoriented into the unity within your heart. You're no longer in duality. You're not fighting. Your heart and your mind are not fighting anymore. They get it. There was never a masculine. It was always a feminine. He just said that, the pole. There was never a masculine pole. It was a feminine externalized. Period. So there's no duality. It's actually not real. So if you think everything comes from the center, from the void, and then it's expressed, the feminine expressed. There's no dualistic. There's no need to fight. So I hope that sat well with you guys today. This is a really long transmission. I love you guys so much for holding the space, and I'm going to end the stream. So if you like to stay, you can, but I'm going to end the stream real quick, and I hope that you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for watching the replay. Love ya.